Greetings and welcome to the MYSZ Inc. Webcast. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Mr. Ronen Luzon, CEO and founder of MYSZ and Class CFO. Thank you, Mr. Luzon. You may begin.
Thank you very much. So hi, everyone. We meet again, this time at a different circumstances due to our friend, the COVID-19. So a lot of change in MYSZ throughout this period. We've decided in MYSZ to stick and to work and to continue developing nature the client. And especially in this period, we get a lot of demand for our products, what we'll speak about in a second. And we'll show you as well everything that was changed and what we've done, new things based on the R&D planning and customer requests, and a new initiative that we just started and we announced it today, that we are very excited about it. We'll talk about it later. So welcome everybody, and we are starting. So this is a short video, but unfortunately I cannot show you, but you can all we'll forward you to our YouTube channel, and there you can see how MYSZ actually works. And what we've done at MYSZ, when I started back in 2014, is the vision behind the company was to change the way people buy clothes online. Due to the fact that each and every brand has a different size chart and different sizes, that creates a huge problem for the retailers and for us as the consumers alike. And it brings a lot of returns to the retailers, which are suffering today between 30 and 50% returns in the US, and about more than that in Europe. If we look about Germany, it's about 70%. It's a very big problem, which we can see now, especially in these days now when the retail stores are going to open. The consumers will like, and we want to have a different experience. We want to have a different experience, and we get all the time now calls from retailers. We need to get a contactless experience in the stores, and that's exactly what MYSZ is doing. And what MYSZ, the solution of MYSZ, is bringing to this market. The market is very big. The market is we can say endless, but it's a huge market that's just growing, especially the online, but the offline as well. Even though we can see some other stores which are closing down, but overall, we can see new players coming in the market, and some of the players that were started only online are opening offline stores. So we can see this market growing, and there is a big demand for new tools, for digital tools, to get between the offline and the online world, and that's where actually MYSZ is at. There's a huge problem, as I said, on the returns. About almost $9 billion worth of goods of returning items. It's not only a matter of cost; it's a matter of global and greener world. And everybody is talking about sustainability now, where we can see that, for example, H&M has burned several tons of goods because of items that were returned, and they couldn't sold it, so they burned them out. And it's part of sustainability, may be more sustainable. So these ones is having digital tools, is having tools for your consumers that will know their size and knows what they're going to buy, and that's what MYSZ is solving. There's a lot of card abandonment. Almost 70% is card abandonment. And most of them is because of size and fit, because our confidence level is very low when we're buying something, especially when we're buying items from brands that we never bought before. So our confidence level is very low, and that's what makes our cart abandonment in those stores. As I said, we established the company back in 2014. We have much more than 10 commercial agreements by now. Patents, we have 7 granted patents in 3 regions globally. Recently, we've got a Russian patent that we waited for so long for it, and now we are working on starting opening the business and subsidiary in Russia, which is a huge market for us, for MYSZ. About $22 million has been invested in the company, and most of the people are being employed in Israel, where is our R&D, and we have another 6 salespersons both in Europe and the US. What we've developed is a technology, but the main core of the technology is an algorithm that uses the mobile phone sensor. So when you move the phone from one place to another, we know to measure the distance the phone is traveling. Just moving the phone from one place to another, there's no camera involved, there's no extra sensors involved, and that's our patent is registered on that. It's registered on the algorithm, on the method itself of using that. That's where we have the core business is, and that's where we derive some of the information and some of the solutions that we started with. And as we started the company to solve the way people buy clothes online, we've realized that we have technology that can fit to other verticals as well, such as the courier or the DIY or different utilities, different other verticals that, for example, Land Rover came to us about 6 months ago and asked for our SDK so they can develop a solution that when a Land Rover owner is going to pick up something from, for example, from Home Depot, and he wants to know if that item that he bought will fit his trunk, he can measure it with his mobile phone, and the app will tell him automatically if it will fit his trunk or not. So these kind of things that MYSZ as a company doesn't need to develop for Land Rover, but these companies can take our SDK and develop tools for them. And this is what I see as MYSZ as a game changer in this industry. So it's not only segment oriented, but it's more of a general type of solution, type of technology that can be provided for different vertical markets. The 3 products that the company has developed for 3 different vertical markets. One is the MySize ID for the apparel market. The second one is the Size Up for the DIY market, and the Box Size for the logistic and courier market. All these 3 products, 3 solutions for these 3 segments, each and every one of this segment is a huge segment that is increasing, especially on the online presence, and that's where our technology comes at best. If we'll focus on the MySize ID for the apparel market, and what we've created on the MySize ID is a solution for retailers, for the retail market, to see and to get not just a size recommendation, but an overall solution. And that's what we are focusing on MySize, to give an overall solution for the retailers to bring his customer on the digital world and to create an omni-channel experience for his customer. So we started with a smartphone measurement. That's one of the inputs that we bring into our big data machine learning engine, that the output is the consumer recommended size for each and every brand and each and every product. So the journey starts with measuring yourself. So a consumer measuring himself by downloading our app or a white label app, or it can be integrated directly into the retailer existing app. He downloads the app, measure himself by just moving the mobile phone over his body. For example, if he needs to measure his height, you place the phone on the ground and then pick it up and put it on your head, and then we know to measure the height of the consumer just by the movement of the mobile phone. So the user moves the mobile phone over his chest, over his hips, over his arms, and creates a profile of his body with the exact measurement. And then we have the second input, which is the research. We are doing research on different people, which we collected globally. We are traveling. We have a fast tech and measurement team that's traveling and measuring people in different locations around the globe. And that's our research engine. We're building a research engine that complies. Today we have about 20,000 entities into this database. that this is another enrichment information that we enrich the information of the user. So when you measure, you can enrich your information with the research, with the data that we collect people around the globe. The third input is the retailer's site chart database that when you a consumer logs in, for example, for your brand, any brand that you want, and select a different, not specific garment, on that specific point, we select this, and we take the information that you just measured yourself, and by matchmaking the both, we, the big data machine engine, the output is getting the size recommendation for that specific item. And then it's based as well on your preferences. If you like to get your running shirt more loose, we know that as well. And we give your size recommendation based on that. Another microservices that we've just launched, which is something that we've been working on for quite some time, is to do with the return process. Is getting the return process on the way, getting the in-store experience. We've teamed up with now already 3 Tier 1 retailers, and I'm speaking about Tier 1 retailers for quite some time now, and I know, and I will get to it at the end. The Tier 1 started with the online presence, and then they moved to the offline as well, and they want now to do the offline and the online together, which is this is the in-store experience. We're now in the COVID, we can see the demand even goes up dramatically, where people want the contactless experience, and that's what MySize is doing in the in-store experience. The third microservice is the inventory level. So when a consumer, even when he goes into the store and he scans the barcode with the app, with MySize app, using our in-store scanning model, he gets the information of the item that he just scanned and the recommended size of that specific item. We know to connect to the inventory level of this store, the specific store, and get and alert the user if this item is in stock or not, and alert the store representative as well of this transaction. So everything is connected. Everything is connected between the offline and the online worlds. So from the last time we met, I don't know how much of the audience that are connected are following and followed MySize, but for you guys who followed us for quite some time, and we are almost 6 years now in the market, we've been working for a lot of new things. One of it is the full support in the WooCommerce platform. We always increasing our connection to third-party platforms, and then there where we get most of our demand is from platforms like Shopify, like WooCommerce, where consumers, where retailers are downloading our widgets, our API, and connected to their market. And we've just finished full support on the WooCommerce platform. It's one of the biggest e-commerce platforms globally with almost 4 million stores. So that's something that is already on the way, and we start marketing throughout WooCommerce retailers. We're entering different countries in Europe. We've opened an Italian branch, and we already have several customers there. Now we're going to enter Germany and France. We're working in Netherlands and in Turkey. And Turkey is a very good market for us, and we can see a great demand. One of the recent retailers that we've signed up is Penti, where they have a couple of hundreds of stores, I think about 300 in Turkey, and another about 500 in Europe, that they've integrated our solution. They're very happy with the integration. In the recent month, which we just started, they had about almost 200,000 size recommendation goes to our engine. So that's a great success, and they love the product, and the consumers love the product and love the using of it. So now we have language support through the app and through the SDK. So we are completely native on that market as well. We've introduced in-store support, and I've talked about it before. The in-store support is for better consumer journey. So as I said, when consumers sometimes start with online, sometimes they start with the offline stores, and MySize solution is there on both ends. So you can, as a consumer, you can start from visiting the stores. If you go for your favorite store, you're going in the store, you can download the app while you're in the store, or you can have the store representative help you with their mobile phone, and you can measure yourself with their mobile phone, or they can instruct you how to download the app on your mobile phone. There's no need for entering a fitting room. You just do it in the store, move the phone over your body, you get your size recommendation, and here you go. And that's one of the reasons that we have a lot of traction now, especially nowadays, from the made-to-measure. The made-to-measure industry needs for their customers to get measured. With the MySize technology, they can get measured wherever they are. They don't need to get tailored. They don't need to get down to the store. And that's where our strength is, and that's where we are very different from all the rest. You don't need, there is full privacy. You don't need to take your clothes off, so you just move the phone over your body, and that's why we're so unique in that market. Another new and exciting feature that we just released is the family and sharing account. So you can, when you go buying something online, which this store as well can serve your family members, your kids, your wife. So you can measure yourself, they can measure themselves, and you can all share the same account on the family account. And when you're buying something online, you can always drop down from the list of the family members, and you can select a different family member and get the size recommendation for him or for her. Then you can buy and increase the cart, which is good for the retailer, higher conversion, and it's good for you. It's an easier process. You don't need to go back and forth. And you can share your profile as well with your friends. So if you don't want your friend to know your exact circumferences, so you just share your profile, and by sharing your profile, he can get a size recommendation on any brand that you want him to buy for you something. This is something that we found retailers love it, and they look for this kind of thing, and it's very personal. The retailers are asking for data, and we collect a lot of data. MySize tool and MySize solution is a great source for them, for data that they haven't had before. For example, the sizes and the different shapes of body of their consumers. There are different body shapes in the apparel industry, for example, pear shape, triangle shape. These type of shapes and this type of information they were always hidden for them, and MySize technology is now bringing data for them because the consumers actually measure themselves. So they know the type of shape of their body of their consumers, know how many and what is the variables in terms of weight, in terms of chest circumferences, and this information is invaluable for them. It's something that they use later on for designing new items, new stuff, for understanding new collections, different sizes in different geographical locations. With this data as well, we can give them. So, for example, if they open a new store in a different geographical location, they can get from the MySize solution, they can get the amount of different sizes topology in that specific region. All this data is in the MySize ID Analytics, which this is one of the tools that the retailer are getting. And each and every one of these tools that I just talked about comes with a licensing price. So there is a licensing price as add-on to the initial package that the retailer is getting. All these tools and this feature drives traffic to the retailer's website. It not just drives traffic, it increased the customer confidence level. It increased the customer confidence level, and by this, increased conversion by at least 30%. It increased the conversion itself. We can see a dramatic increase in conversion in different retailers that we're working with. Cart abandonment, it increased the confidence level, so it reduced the cart abandonment as well. All these features are for the customers and for the retailer is surrounding size and fit and how they work with it. Tier 1. The Tier 1, today we have three, you can say it's pilots, but it's already integrations with Tier 1 customers. One of them, retailers, one of them was due to launch this June to start rollout in these stores, in these physical stores throughout the U.S. Thanks to the COVID, I don't know if it's thanks, but due to the COVID, this has been suspended. He's saying that probably last quarter 2020, I believe it's more to be close to the end of the year, but at the moment we're talking about last quarter 2020 to start the integration in the stores directly, and this is the Tier 1 retailers. The same one with the U.S. European global retailer that is aimed to start in with his sportswear. The same thing, suspended everything now. So any new intention project is being suspended for these retailers. Third party, we're working very hard on third party integration. I think the main market and the main revenues for MYSZ will come from third parties, the small and medium sized retailers, that we can see a dramatic increase on that. And that's one of the reasons that we keep investing and we keep developing for third-party e-commerce like we've done with WooCommerce. This is just some of the retailers that we have on board globally: Turkey, Kings of Indigo in the Netherlands, Slam, Fridgeware in Italy, the Molian in the US. That's for made-to-measure. That we are quite unique there. We have a lot of new customers coming in, especially now, and things are working very hard now. This is just a topology of how the breakdown of different e-commerce platforms throughout, and we can see the WooCommerce and the percentage of WooCommerce in this market. And we are today installed on WooCommerce and Shopify, Lightspeed, and this is what we have today installed on. Our business model. Our business model is, the main business model is monthly subscription. We license our technology, and we are charging pay-per-click. Pay-per-click for every time a consumer clicks on the widget, click on the button to get his recommended size. We charge the retailer and start with 10 cents per click, per fit recommendation, and that's our main model. On top of that, we add different features, a different module on top of that. For example, if they want the in-store experience, if they want the analytics, each one of these modules costs an extra monthly sum for the retailers based on his amount of traffic and usage that they're doing in the system. Just a small example for if we take the WooCommerce or Shopify, and we start with 1% penetration on the smallest package that we have, which is $49, which most of them are starting with. I'm starting with the bigger one with the $1,000 per month. But even on that, with as little as 1% penetration rate, we can see revenue from about $300,000 from these platforms for penetration on those clients. We can see that those platforms, and only those platforms, have so many retailers working on them. And each and every one of those retailers needs to have digital tools that will help their conversion go higher and their returns dramatically go lower, because they're suffering today from a huge amount of returns and poor conversion. And one of the main tools is sizing and fit. The logistic and courier is another market, another segment that we're focusing on, where we see a big advantage for MYSZ solution on that segment. One of the main main problems of the logistic industry, the logistic segment, is again measurement. Even though these days today, the majority of the measurement is being done manually. They're still using a ruler, they're still using a measuring tape to measure the packages that they have in hand. And it's most of the time it's inaccurate, it's slow, it's not that efficient. And what MYSZ is brought to that industry is efficiency, speed of operation, and lack of manual and inconsistent tools that are not connected to the back office system. And that's what we've brought. And what we brought to that market, what we use are the same technology that we use today. And this solution is using the mobile device with our technology that just by moving the mobile phone over the package, they can measure the volume of package. And this is just a success story that we've done with pretty small. They're selling about 5 million packages a year in Israel. Israel is one of the biggest logistic company. And by integrating the box size solution on their preferences on their logistics center, they can increase their revenue by 2.5%, which is about $1 million a year increase for revenues just by re-invoicing the customers on the difference from what they declared when they send the package and what a CAP employee is measured using the box size ID on the logistics centers. So we can see that about 12% of the shipments for the logistics center arrive with inaccurate measurement, and that's a lot of money for those logistics centers. We're working now with airline companies that we see that they have a big issue with the height of the packages because they need to put it inside an airline. And using the box size solution, it's accurate and fast for them a way to measure the height of each and every package that they want to insert into a plane. That's something that costs and reduce the time effort that for them getting an airplane ready to fly. All the information is being integrated directly into their ERP system. So one of the nice things with the box size solution on the logistics segment is that once an employee moving the mobile device over the package, they can automatically, all the information is going directly into their back office system. Some of the logistic partners that we're working with in Honeywell and Zebra, and one of the things that they've asked for is a one-click measurement. So click once on the mobile device and just move it over the package, and we will measure all 3 axes in one go. And that's one of the things that they've asked, and we've just released it now. You can download a new version from the app market, and you can get a one-click measurement for all 3D package with the mobile device. And this is something that we've partnered both with Honeywell and Zebra to incorporate our technology on top of their devices. And now we are in processes of educating the salesperson of Honeywell and Zebra and pushing it down their funnel that what they liked about the box size solution, which is a very unique solution in their market, that now today they are selling their rugged handle devices, which is mostly operational. But now, as they say, now we are selling an operational tool as well as measuring tool in our handheld device. And that's a big breakthrough on that market. The same business model works here. We charge per measurement. So every time a package is being measured, we charge 10 cents per package that's being measured. And there are packages on top of that. So the logistic company is selecting a package, and with that, they're getting charged for based on the amount of packages that they've been measured. Today, we've announced an LOI for a new market that MYSZ is penetrating, the micro-fulfillment center. I will spend a bit of time on the micro-fulfillment center and why MYSZ has decided to go into it. MYSZ is seeing a great tremendous impact and a lot of requests on our sizing solution. And we think that the micro-fulfillment centers is one thing that going forward in terms of giving a full solution for the retailer and for the logistics goes hand in hand. And we see now that this market, in terms of logistic partners and consumer journey, when he's ordering something online until it reaches his house, and if he wants to return something, it goes through the micro-fulfillment centers. And the micro-fulfillment centers is something that will just increase in the city centers because they will serve the last mile of the consumers. When we are buying something, when we're returning something, it will go through the micro-fulfillment centers, especially for the small and medium-sized retailers or businesses when they're working with it. MYSZ has decided to joint venture with Logistico. Logistico has a lot of experience, and they're operating micro-fulfillment center in New York. They have a lot of experience in different ventures that they've done throughout micro-fulfillment centers. And through this new venture that they're doing, MYSZ will bring the technology as part of the box size and will enhance the box size to support the different needs for software in micro-fulfillment centers. As we are doing with the box size, will be very unique in our approach on that manner. Logistico will bring their knowledge and their customers today and will increase those customers to be on the new micro-fulfillment centers that we're going to open. It will be a chain of micro-fulfillment centers to support the U.S. consumer base and retailers that will sell and license the services to work through our software and through our systems that will go through the micro-fulfillment centers. One of the nice things that we'll do here is we'll do a joint venture with retail operators. That one of the things with micro-fulfillment centers in city centers, they can utilize a smaller or bigger size of real estate and still operate and still be profitable on that space. And everything will be a part of the software that will manage everything. I will hand over the call for Or Class, which our CFO will talk about the financing and the cap table that we have.
Thanks, Ronen.
Or, please.
So we just updated the numbers that it will reflect at the end of March. So we have approximately 2.6 million shares outstanding after taking into consideration the 1-to-15 reverse split that we did in October 2019. We have approximately 200,000 more options outstanding, most of them for the employees, at the average strike price of $13.30. We have approximately 700,000 warrants. Most of them are for from the January we did with AT1 right, or a gross proceeds of $2 million. The weighted average strike price of $365 per warrant. We don't have any debt and don't have a convertible debt or anything else. So the fully diluted shares are approximately 3.5. If we are looking at the balance sheet, so just a quick look, we had at the end of December 2019 approximately $1.5 million We did a deal on mid of January 2020 for gross proceeds of $2 million, approximately net proceeds of 1.7, which bring us more money than we showed on the last K. No debt. We don't have any debt. Everything is pretty clean, pretty straightforward. You can see. So in regards to the coronavirus, we reduced our burn rate because we are not traveling, don't have any conferences. So we are trying to keep cash as much as we can. So we will gain some more runway. Ronan, back to you.
Thanks, Or. So overall, what we see as MYSZ is a solution-based technology company that drives solutions for segments that suffer today, especially from measurement technologies. That we can see those types of segments coming from the apparel market, the logistic market, the DIY market that we haven't even talked about. That will be focused probably in 2021 from my side. For example, if you're going to buy a curtain in Home Depot, how do you measure it? You need a tape measure, right? How many times you forget your tape measure? Most of the time. Most of you will admit it. So this is one of the main issues. Imagine that you have a ruler in your pocket that you can always measure whatever you want, and it will always compare to what you need to buy. So if it's a curtain for your window, it will tell you what curtains and what size you need for your window. If it's linen for your bed, it will tell you what linens will fit your bed. If it's a carpet, if it's a suit that you need to buy, these are the solutions that MYSZ is focusing on. And we are focusing on solutions from end to end to the retailer. That's why we are pure B2B company, and we are looking at the retailers. We're working directly with the retailers. Some of the sales cycles can be seen very long, but once these ones will be in place, we can see that the time has been shorter. And we can see, for example, a study that we've done in Turkey, that we signed up with Penti, which is one of the biggest retailers in the Turkish market. And after we signed up with them, we got a lot of demand from a smaller or for even a bigger retailers that was waiting for somebody to pick it up and to start installing the MYSZ. And today we have a huge demand in Turkey because of that. We will see the same phenomena in the US. We will see the same phenomena in Germany and in France. And that's why the MYSZ solution is something that you install it and then you will see the fruits after the market understood the potential of this technology. Thank you very much, guys. Natalia, do you have any questions?
Yes. So our first question is, what is the status of the Tier 1 retailer? When will the integration be completed?
So, yes, I've talked about it during the presentation. Tier 1 is something that we're working on for a long time, and you guys know it. It was due, we've actually released the full integration for these Tier 1 just after COVID had started. And they've announced that, they are going to postpone everything now. And most of their employees got on home leave. According to their plans, it will be last quarter 2020. Hopefully, we will get over COVID and the retailer stores will open, but we can see a huge demand. Hopefully, I will have good news for you guys in the next couple of months, and see that things are getting clear, and we can get more news for you. But the plan was to open the first few stores in June this year, but this will be postponed.
Okay. Next question is actually a two-part question. How has COVID-19 pandemic affected MYSZ business, Also, you have stated that you believe that you'll have approximately 20 million size recommendations for 2020. Do you still believe you'll reach that number?
So COVID-19 has influenced MySize on two ways. One, again, the tier one, which I need to say I'm very surprised for their approach. I think they need to brace the COVID, and I think they need to brace digital solution like MySize and other digital solutions, and think and how they're going to be the day after COVID, how they will be using a contactless solution inside their store, how they're going to cater the increasing number of their online users, and they don't do it. Instead of that, they stopped all new initiatives. They stopped, they suspended everything, and we see there is a suspension, but we know it will continue because we understand from the people inside that their management has decided to suspend everything due to cash burn. Then they will continue. But I think that initiatives like online, like digital presence, like digital tools are something that it's a must for them for going the next day. And we can see the sad stories behind JCPenney's and others that they are facing because they haven't read the math correctly. So this is one side of the COVID. The other side is we see a huge demand from made-to-measure. From the made-to-measure industry, which is a huge industry. All the suits manufacturers, the dress, the gowns, the prom dresses, a lot of these retailers today, they don't have a way to measure their customers. They cannot send their customers to get measured, and they need solution like MySize. And today we get a lot of demand from social campaigns that we're doing, from our presence, from they know about MySize, and we get a lot of approach from these small to medium-sized retailers, and this is our main market. This is where MySize can actually help and contribute and have their solution and their customer journey and their conversion higher and their returns decrease dramatically, and that's where we can see we see a lot of demand coming from that. And the second part about the 20 million, yes. I know, and we've seen part of the 20 million is coming from the tier one retailers, but we can see a compensation from the small to medium retailers that are coming on board. At the moment, we're still leaving the 20 million recommendation as is, and we can see a dramatically increase from retailers like Penti in Turkey. That they just have 1% penetration in the first month, and still they have about 200,000 times recommendation on throughout the website. And so I'm still optimistic about the numbers. We will be clear after this pandemic. We'll go starting to go back to normal, if we can say that.
Okay. And I think we have the one last question because I think we're run out of time. But why did you partner with Logistico to operate and manage micro-fulfillment centers, and what is the opportunity there? So
I can see a hand-to-hand straight relationship between the consumer when he's buying something online and all the online business as a whole to the micro-fulfillment centers. I can see that the small and medium-sized retailers globally need and rely on the micro-fulfillment center, because in order for them to supply next-day delivery or the same-day delivery, they must work with a micro-fulfillment center. They cannot operate fulfillment centers of themselves like Starbucks is doing or like MYSZ is doing. They need to own a different and third-party fulfillment centers. And this is the micro-fulfillment centers within city centers will play a crucial part in the expansion of the online business globally. And MySize today is playing a role in the online business and in the logistic business. And I think it's just a natural expansion of MySize together with a logistic company, like with the micro-fulfillment centers like Logistico, that have the knowledge, but again, it's small enough that we can join together and we can bring our knowledge in software development and logistics and work with third-party technology partners like we're doing today, together with their experience in that market, and expand in greater and better to give full solution for retailers that we're working today, both in the online and in the offline world.
Okay, great. That'll be all for questions, Ronen. Feel free to go ahead with your concluding remarks.
So thank you guys all for coming to this presentation. Hopefully that next time we'll can meet in person and ask your questions. And I know that you have a lot of questions that you want to ask and how this will roll out. I think that MYSZ has a game-changing technology in the industry that we're working with, and MYSZ as a whole, as a technology solution provider, can influence so many different vertical markets. And each and every one you think of where you need starting solution in your world, and that's where I see MYSZ. I see MYSZ as a solution provider for vertical markets we're waiting in, but it's endless solution that can change so many different things that we're doing on the day-to-day basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This concludes today's webcast. You may disconnect at this time. Thank you for your participation.